Good morning, welcome to episode 54 of the Johto Solo Runs on the RetroBrown channel. Today we are doing a solo run with just Cleffa, the baby stage evolution of the Cleffa line. In Johto, this is going to hurt. Why do I do this to myself? Base stat total of 218, which is very standard for a baby type. Very bad speed and 15 base speed. Wow, that's really not going to help us out, and a terrible moveset level up to work with. So yeah, let's get started with this. Our best stat is our special defense at 55 and then HP at 50. Not really going to help us out, really, but we'll see what we can do. We start off with two moves, Pound and Charm. Charm is honestly a good move. Reduces attack by 2 stages. Pound, just a standard normal type move. Level 4 we also get Encore as well, which we might see some use for it, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But level 8 we also get Sing and Sweet Kiss. Now Sing, apart from being a 55 accuracy move, it's decent. Sleep is very powerful, as we found out in the Hobbit video last time. But Sweet Kiss, it's also decent as well because it's 75% chance to inflict confusion. Sleep and Confusion, decent combo to have, but Pound, yeah. We only have 5 level up moves to work with, so we're going to have to heavily rely on our TM moveset to deal with this run. So, what sort of moveset should we actually build out for this Cleffa? It's going to be an interesting one anyway. So let's get started with the run. We need to head back over to New Barktown to go and go back to the lab there. But before that, of course, we have the rival fight. And he's going to start off this time with a Totodile. Reason why I chose this, Totodile's got high attack and our defenses are pretty shoddy, so I thought that would be a hard matchup for us. As you can see here, even though we use our Held Berry here, which is just standard held for the start of the game and I always forget to unequip it, without that Held Berry we wouldn't have been able to finish this fight. We don't even level up from it. Let's name our rival for today. Our rival for today is going to be Tia Gill. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to the channel. Let's see how you do against this Cleffa, which you should do very, very well against. Anyway, we hand the Pokemon Egg to Professor Elm, and we progress on with our run. We're also going to ignore the dude outside of here because we already know how to catch Pokemon and we don't need his help. We are going to go against every optional trainer on the way up to Falkner because with this base stat total and this moveset, we're going to need all the help we can get. We get to the top of Sprout Tower with a level 12 Cleffa, and Pound is not even doing like half damage on these level 7 Bellsprouts. This is a bad Pokemon. As long as we can keep them asleep though, which doesn't happen all too often, we can Encore so they can only use Growth. Yeah, Encore actually saw some use. That brings us into the Hoppip. We are going to get rid of Encore here so we can... Should we get rid of Encore or Charm? We'll get rid of Encore for now and learn Sweet Kiss. Because if we can put them to sleep and we can confuse them, that puts us in a good position, but it's just not enough to deal with, so we take a loss. We go back into this level 13 with full HP starting out, and we use Sweet Kiss and Sing to great effect. It means we can't use Encore Growth here, but it's all we need to deal with. The Bellsprouts, not too much of a problem whatsoever, as long as we can get them to sleep. We don't want to be hit by a 2x growth Vine Whip because that'll deal big damage out on us, even with our decent special... I say decent, 55 is not decent for a special defense, but this is a baby type Pokemon and this is going to go pretty much as a baby type Pokemon run you would assume would go. Against the Hoothoot we finally get it to sleep this time and pound it into the ground, getting ourselves a win and getting up to level 14 before Falkner. So let's see how we do against Falkner, because he should be alright. Falkner, of course, starts off as a level 7 Pidgey, and I think this is the lowest level Pokemon. I think this is the lowest level gym Pokemon in the entire series, I think. Does Black and White have a lower... I can't remember. If someone down in the comments lets me know what the lowest level gym trainer Pokemon is in the entire series, that'd be... that'd just be interesting to see. Because I think it's this Pidgey in Gen 2. The Pidgey gives us quite a bit of chew here. We managed to confuse it, get it to sleep, but we've taken a lot of damage against it. So we need to deal big damage out against this Pidgeotto, and we need a Sing to work straight away. It doesn't, and we take a loss. So I'm going to take the experience here, and see how we do. So this time we managed to hit Sing first time, and we're just going to go straight for the pounds. It's going to take 3 pounds to take out this Pidgey, but this time we're going to the Pidgeotto with more HP to work with. Hopefully Sing will hit first time, and it does mean we can get a Sweet Kiss up, just to give us a little bit more to work with, and then we start using Pound. We could have used Charm here to give us ourselves a little bit more to work with, considering it's a physical attacking Pokemon, but we just went for the win with Pound, and we take the first badge. That doesn't set up a good precedence for the run though, does it? We do pick up the TM for Mudslap, which will be very paramount to getting through Azalea Town, and of course paramount to getting through a lot of poison types in this early game. We take down Team Rocket pretty comfortably at level 20, but this brings us to the next challenge, which of course is the Rival and Bugsy. We're going to go for the Rival first, and Tia here. As long as we can get that Ghastly to sleep, which is not happening because he decides to use Spite, and we've run out of Sing PP. Meaning we just have to rely on Mudslap, and of course we need to rely on Sweet Kiss. We don't take too much damage from the Zubat, even though it does use Bite and Supersonic, and this is just becoming arduous and tedious. We managed to Sweet Kiss the Croconaut, but unless we can use Mudslap and get its accuracy down, yeah, we're going to take a loss like that. So let's try this again. So, we're just going to go for the Mudslaps against the Ghastly, because after the Ghastly is gone we don't really care about using it. And then we'll go for the Sting against the Zubat. As long as it's the sleep, we can deal out decent damage with Pound, and then go into the Croconaut at full HP. This is a much better position to be in. And from here we go for Sing. Hopefully it hits first time, and it does. We go for Sweet Kiss just to give ourselves a bit more insurance, and then go for Mudslaps just to reduce its accuracy down in case it does want to try and hit us. Thankfully Confusion works in our favour, hits himself twice, and from here we just pound and pound the Croconaut into the ground. Bit of a rhyme. That brings us to Bugsy. Let's see how we do here. Now, the big problem with Bugsy is his Cypher will not be hit by Mudslap because it's got the flying subtype. So we just need to try and get through his first 2 Pokemon as quick as possible and get them to sleep. Which doesn't happen all too often with 55 base accuracy, but the Kakuna is going to be the bigger threat because of Poison Sting and the chance to poison. We don't want to be against the clock here, we want to make sure we can take it out, and thankfully it takes itself out in Confusion. We love to see it. Cypher comes out and he goes for a quick attack instead of Fury Cutter. From there we Sweet Kiss, hopefully trying to give ourselves a bit more to work with, and it stays asleep. From here all we can do is hope Pound does decent damage. It's going to be about a 5 hit with Pound. He wakes up, hits himself in Confusion, and final Pound takes him down. It's the first time winning against Bugsy, and yeah, I'm very high level for this point in the game, but this is a baby Pokemon, so I hope you give me some slack there. Moving on to Goldenrod, we are going to pick up the TM for rollout before we even go against Whitney. And you know, I was actually really surprised to hear we found the 1% Yangma randomly in the grass here. You don't see that all too often. Yangma is a very hard Pokemon to find with 1%. What we're going to do next, we're going to go and gamble a bit and get some coins, because there are TMs in the game corner that we want. Well, I say TMs, there's only one that we can get out of them, and that of course is Fire Blast. Yes, this little puffball of a Pokemon can learn Fire Blast, and this is going to be paramount to how we actually go about this run. Let's see how we do against Whitney. So we're going to go against our older sister here in Clefairy, and we are much higher level compared to it. We get it Sweet Kissed and then Sing it, and this should be good for us. We've got Headbutt and Rollout here. I've not taught Fire Blast yet, but the reason is we want Rollout to work because we want that cumulative damage for when the Miltank comes out. It's a 4-turn Rollout here, but it outspeeds and Stomp does big damage. Thank you, 28 base defense. That's awful. This time around, as soon as we've got the Clefairy asleep, we're not wasting time. We're just going for the rollouts. We want to be on as much HP to work with going into that Miltank for its Stomps. It goes for a rollout itself, but we've started setting up earlier, meaning we can get 2 rollouts in, get the win. And that's how you beat Whitney with a Cleffa. Who needs Clefairy when you've got Cleffa? Pick up the TM for Attract, which may be helpful later on. We'll soon find out. And we progress on to Morty. Now this is going to be a hard gym. Yeah, we need to see what we can do. Morty starts out with his Ghastly, and he's only got a full Ghastly line. Oh my god, Curse hits straight away. And we have no Fire Blast PP. This might just be a reset already because, yeah, Curse is just going to take us out. Unless rollout damage will just sweep his entire team here. Nope, there we go. Taking out by curse. Let's try that again. We need Fire Blast to hit because it'll do a lot more damage than rollout will. We need one shots to win this. Straight away, of course, we also do get cursed, but we started setting up rollout earlier, meaning we can start accumulating more and more. This fifth turn rollout will take out the Gengar in one, bringing us into the Haunter where we can use Fire Blast, and hopefully that's a one shot. It's not, but we've got enough to work with to take it out with a final rollout. So we do take the 4th badge. I wouldn't say pretty comfortably, but it was hard fought. Looking at the TM moveset that we do have, the big problem about the Cleffa line is the fact that it's got so many moves that you actually need to use that are just not accurate whatsoever. Rollout's not 100% accurate, Fire Blast isn't 100% accurate, Sing isn't 100% accurate. It is a difficult Pokemon to use when these big hitting moves that you need to use just don't hit half the time. Because if it's not 100% in Pokemon, it might as well be 0. Pretty much, that just seems to be it. If you can't hit 100% of the time, you'll never hit sometimes. We do take the optional fight against the rival and take him out pretty quickly. From there, we can start the side quest for the secret potion and progress on to Cyanwood's gym. Also, you'd think, we are 8 levels above that Hitmonlee, but we don't outspeed thanks to our 15 base speed. And no matter how many times I tried that, we did not even get past that Hitmonlee. We didn't have enough defense, didn't have enough speed, so we need to go and level up elsewhere. We pick up rare candies where we can, but we are going to progress back to Olivine City and we are going to go against Jasmine first out with these 3 trio of gyms, which usually I leave to last because Jasmine is quite difficult. But saying that, we have Fire Blast, which is a great move, and as long as we can outspeed, which we don't against the Magnemites, this is a bad situation. We don't even get our Fire Blast to hit once. Supersonic, even though it's a 55 base accuracy move, seems to hit every single time when I go against these Magnemites. But when they don't hit and you can get a good run like this, we even get confused there, Fire Blast will take them out in 1, which is what we need. Brings us into the Steelix, and hopefully we can get this to sleep. We tank that with 4 HP, get out of confusion, and then we Fire Blast this Steelix. It wakes up and uses Iron Tail, but thankfully Iron Tail also has bad accuracy, and we get the Mineral Badge on the 2nd try. A little baby Cleffa beats Jasmine and a big Steelix 2nd time. Quite impressive, if I'm being honest. That brings us over to the Lake of Rage because I went back to Cyanwood and we were still not a match for that dojo guy with the Hitmonlee. So we need to go and get some more experience elsewhere, and we can do that over the Lake of Rage and the Rocket side quest. We beat up the Red Gyarados, head down to Lance, and we start this little side quest off. Once we head back to Mahogany Town, of course we're going to go and watch him Hyper Beam a grunt into the ground. It's funny. Like, he's just used his most powerful move on a human being. It's funny. Of course, at the end of this little base, we have the Rocket Executive, who was not really too much of a problem. We've got Headbutt on our moveset, which when I went through Goldenrod earlier, I didn't have enough friendship to actually get the Return TM yet. So we're going to have to pick that up later on, but for now, Headbutt is still a decent move. It's got the flinch chancing, and it's decent against a lot of defensively weak Pokemon. We take down the admin pretty comfortably, and then we can progress on to the next gym leader, which of course is going to be Price, considering we're in the Mahogany Town. Might as well go against him now and get a few more levels up. Let's see how we do. Oh, I hate this puzzle sometimes. How do I do it through this? Oh yeah, it's this way, down. Oh, god damn it. Once we finally figured out that little puzzle, we can go against Price. Now Price isn't too much of an issue. We have fire type moves, we have rock type moves to deal big damage onto him, but we need to hit Sing. And it's only when we're at 13 HP that we manage to finally hit Sing. From here, we don't outspeed any of his Pokemon. So unless this Dugong decides to go for Growl or something, we're going to take a loss. Which doesn't happen all too often against Price. We sometimes never lose against this guy for ages, and then you get a run like this and it just reminds you that baby Pokemon are bad. They are really bad. This time against Seal, we get much better luck. We get to sleep a lot earlier. We've got 76 HP to work with going into the Dugong. It'll be a 4th turn rollout, taken out in 1, and then a 5th turn rollout, take out the Pile of Swine after the Fury attack. So when rollout works, it becomes your most powerful asset, but yeah, you need to be able to get the chance to use it. So, with all the gym badges completed, we now need to go against Chuck. This is mandatory now. We cannot go any further without beating this guy. At level 44, we can actually tank 1 jump kick, getting us a singing, and from there, 2 headbutts get us the win. But this is the Dojo Brothers, and you've got to go against Hitmonchan straight away afterwards without any healing. So, we need to get it to sleep. Thankfully, he only goes for a fire punch, and headbutts can take him down from there. I can't believe that took us to level 44 to get even past the first trainers in this gym. But we are a normal type Pokemon. Normal types do not do well against the fighting types, and that poses another problem with Chuck having powerful fighting type moves. Let's see how we do. Chuck starts out with his Primeape, and the entirety of Chuck's team are Pokemon that I think Bruno should have had. I mean, look at that. 1 Karate Chop, we're nearly twice his level, took us out. So we're relying on Sing again, of course, to try and get that in first. Headbutts will take out the Primeape in 2 hits, and that brings us into the Poliwrath. Now it misses its Dynamic Punch because it doesn't have the greatest of accuracy, and from there 2 more headbutts take him down. The hardest thing about this gym, hands down, was that very first gym trainer with the Hitmonlee. My god, that took a lot of levels to get past. Professor Elm calls us and then tells us we need to head back over to Goldenrod, and we can finally pick up the HMO2 from Chuck's wife, who calls him Chubby. We're all a bit chubby, leave him alone. In the underground, we have the next rival fight against Tia, and we get absolutely decimated by this Golbat starting out. We don't have any HP recovery moves because rest is blocked until later in the game, and we're on very little HP going into a lot of these Pokemon. Haunter comes out, and annoyingly, it goes for Curse. We've got 1 turn left of Curse, so we need to try and hit a Fire Blast now, and then deal with each of the next Pokemon with 1 hit each. Sneasel goes for a quick attack, but we miss our Fire Blast, so we need to reset. This time, we get better luck against the Golbat, who was the biggest problem on the first part of the last attempt, and 3 rollouts will take it down. I can't believe it takes 3 rollouts to take down that Pokemon. A 4th turn rollout doesn't take out Magnemite, and we're going into the Haunter having to reset on our rollout, so we go for Fire Blast instead. This time, no Curse, which is great, and Fire Blast hits the Sneasel as well. Last up is the Feraligatr, and from here, we need to get it to sleep, or we just need to go for the Headbutts. We get it to sleep, we go for Headbutt, and thankfully at this point in the game he doesn't have Slash. The next fight he will have Slash, which is a very powerful move he used against us, but we take a win there and progress up the Radio Tower. Archer here, or is it Petrol? I can't remember. Which of the two is it, Archer or Petrol here? I can't remember. Is Houndour and Houndoom have got pretty bad defences. The Coffin's got decent, can tank at least 1 headbutt. We've got 86 HP to work with for the Houndoom. It goes for Ember of all things first, and then Feint Attack. I should really do a Houndour run, really, shouldn't I? Or Houndoom run. I haven't done that line yet. We beat the Rocket Side Quest and then progress on to the 8th gym, which of course is Claire. Now Claire, going to be hard. Claire has got 4 Dragon-type Pokemon, 3 Dragonairs, and a Kingdra. As long as we can get them to sleep, we can headbutt or roll out our way through this. We should be alright, but Fire Blast is going to be kind of redundant in this fight, considering Kingdra has got the Water-type and the Dragon-type. Both resist Fire-type moves. But with rollout on our moveset, we're dealing out big damage to her team. We get Smoke Screen, which is not good, but a 5th turn rollout takes out the Kingdra. And Cleffa, this little ball of whatever it is, has just beaten 8 gyms and beat Claire first time. So I'm quite impressed by that. This progresses on to the Elite Four, but before that in Victory Road we have our final fight with Tia. Starts off with Sneasel this time, and hopefully we get the Sing first time round, meaning we can start setting up our rollouts for the next Pokemon. And rollout is super effective against Sneasel, because it's a nice type. That brings into Golbat, even though we get confused, we manage to power through. And 4th turn rollout on Magneton, can it one-shot? It can't, so the 5th turn rollout will take out the Magneton, bringing us into the Haunter, the bane of my life on these last few runs. Fire Blast is a one-shot on it though, and that brings in Kadabra. We are going to go for the Headbutt here because it doesn't have the greatest defenses, and that brings out Feraligatr who does... went for Rage and now has Slash. We need to get it to sleep, otherwise we've got no chance here. We go for the Headbutts. It's going to take 4 Headbutts to take it down, but he wakes up and uses Slash. So let's try this again. Same strategy again, but we had to level up. It took us until level 69, which is just nice, to be able to take down this team. I can't believe it took us this amount of levels to be able to beat this team. Even at a level nearly more than twice the level of Magneton, we cannot outspeed it, which is really, really bad. Considering we're already at level 70 pretty much, and our 15 base speed can't even outspeed Pokemon half our level. This is very bad. Headbutts now will do 3 to take out that Feraligatr. We get hit by so many things, and at 36 HP we managed to get the win. That Feraligatr with Slash gave us so many problems, but we've done it. We're at the league. Let's see how we do now. First up, of course, is going to be Will. Let's see how we do. Will starts off with his Xatu, the psychic flying type Pokemon, and you know what? I like Xatu. I think it's a cool Pokemon personally. Natu, that was a hard run when I did the solo run of that, but I like Xatu. It was always a good Pokemon. Cleffa with Rollout is a demon in this fight. Absolute demon. We're level 75 going into this, and Rollout is just one-shotting everything. That's the 5th turn Rollout sorted, and we're finally onto the final Xatu, meaning we need to set up Rollout again, or we just need to tank Psychics and Headbutt our way through. We get the win at level 75 and progress on to Koga. Koga starts out with his Ariados, and Fire Blast is entirely the reason why I wanted Fire Blast on this Pokemon, because it will sweep through a lot of his team pretty quickly, especially the Fortress, who is 4 times weak to fire type moves. Now, if you watch my Fortress run, you'll know that it is very difficult to try and win the league with, especially when you go against the Charizard at the final fight. The Muck, probably the most offensively bulky on his team, goes down to 2 Headbutts, and that brings in Crobat. Now, we can get it to sleep, which won't really happen after a double team. We're just going to go for the Headbutts and try and get the win. 2 Headbutts take it down. Level 76, we progress on to Bruno. Now, considering how Chuck's gym went, I am not confident for this one. We don't outspeed the Hitmontop, and it gets some chip damage in with Dig. But on the second Dig, we managed to get it to sleep. And from here we can try and start setting up Rollout, but again he wakes up and we're losing HP fast. Considering the next Pokemon out, we really need all the HP we can work with, because we will not outspeed and we will take a one-shot from High Jump Kit. Let's try this again. How many tries? I had to get up to level 85 before we had a chance. Hitmonlee just did so much damage, and we were always hoping for it to start to just miss us and then go and hit itself, but it never worked. Hitmonchan, of course, has got Mach Punch, meaning it can outspeed us in always. But once we get it sleep, we were so reliant on a 55% accuracy thing to make it through this Elite Four challenge. Once you've got it to sleep though, that's it. You should be fine. Onyx manages to get us down to very low HP, and thankfully Fire Blast at this level is a one-shot. But that was so close, and even at level 85, that is ridiculous to be able to get through Bruno of all Pokemon trainers. Next up, of course, is Karen, and straight away, as soon as we can get him to sleep, we should be alright. Headbutts are dealing decent damage out. And yeah, I'm surprised that I didn't take Return with us into the league, but Headbutt is still a decent move. Fire Blast is a one-shot on the Vileplume, but it misses so many times. And from here, we managed to take it out in one. Gengar is out next, and we need Fire Blast to do big damage, but we have been cursed, which is not good. We now have 4 turns to take out the rest of her team, and I'm going to go for the rollout strats, because the next Pokemon up after Murkrow is going to be Houndoom, and it's super effective against a Houndoom. Flamethrower does big damage, but a 3rd turn rollout can take out that Houndoom. That's for the leads us on to the champion. Let's see how we do, because this is going to hurt. This is really going to hurt. Champion Lance starts out with his Gyarados and he sets up Rain Dance. Then goes for Flail of all things, twice. Could have gone for Hyper Beam, but I'm taking it. We've also put Icy Wind on our moveset over Fire Blast because it's 4 times effective on the Dragonite, and we really don't want to be taking much damage against these Hyper Beams. Next Dragonite is out and it paralyzes us. We are just getting everything thrown at us here. This is not a good scenario to be in, but thankfully Icy Wind can take out the Dragonites in one shot. It's also going to do big damage against the Aerodactyls, one shot in them as well. Charizard is next, and if we weren't paralyzed, we probably could have outsped it. Who knows? Level 88, we try this again, and from here, we get the first turn Sing on Gyarados, meaning 2 headbutts will take it out, and that brings us to Dragonite. Now, Icy Wind, one shot on them, we actually missed the Thunder Wave this turn, bringing us into the second. Wow, 2 Thunder Wave misses, that is very, very lucky. Aerodactyl is out next, and it goes for a big Hyper Beam, which isn't great because we need to keep as much HP as possible for this next Charizard, and we're going to go for Sing. It gets a Hyper Beam in, which doesn't do all too much damage on us there, which is kind of confusing, but 2 headbutts take it down. Final Dragonite is out, and he goes for Outrage. If he'd gone for Hyper Beam there, he would have won, but instead he went for Outrage. 1 Icy Wind will take it down, and Cleffa has become the Pokemon League champion. God, this took a long time to do. The Hoppip run was ridiculous. Cleffa, level 88, 8 hours and 8 minutes. I'm getting really tired of how long some of these Pokemon are taking to complete the league, but Gen 2 is a completely different game to Gen 1. It takes a lot longer to beat the game, there are a lot more side tracks, so the average time completion is always a lot higher. Let's see how we do against the former champion anyway, Encanto. With such a varied team, you'd think I'd have to change my moveset up. No, we've gone with this exact same moveset that we had against the champion. Icy Wind also has a chance to reduce speed, which is good against that Pidgeot, and Alakazam will go down to 2 headbutts. He goes for Recover to try and get his HP back, but no, not enough. Rhydon is out next, and we need to Icy Wind it, otherwise he will set up Sandstorm, and that is not a good position to be in. We Icy Wind, and he switches into Gyarados, meaning that he gets a speed drop as well. So now from here, we can start setting up rollouts. And we get a critical hit on the second, which I'll take. Third turn rollout doesn't do much against the Rhydon, but thankfully, he's not doing much else apart from use Sandstorm, that's not good. 5th turn rollout takes him out, and that means we're into the Executor. We need to start dealing bigger damage out with Icy Wind, and it takes out the Executor. Last out is Arcanine, and we're on 47 HP. Flamethrower will take us out from this range. That Rhydon was a big pain. We need to get an Icy Wind in on it. But after so many tries, I actually decided it's time to change my moveset. Let's use a moveset which more complements our base stats. So we've gone with Return, Rest, Attract, and Psychic. Because we need to deal bigger damage out. What have I got? Rest, Return, Psychic, Attract. Yeah, I do have that moveset. With Rest on our moveset, we can wait out a lot of the big hitting moves, and we can also recover our HP for once, the first time in this entire run. And Psychic will deal decent damage out. There's not many Pokemon in the upcoming fights that are resistant to Psychic types, so it's a good move to have. And you pick it up in Saffron City. Attract is a great move as well, because it also gives us a chance for them not to hit us. It's definitely a move I am not going to ban on this channel, just because I like it. It's a good move to have, and it's not 100% guaranteed to make sure that they never hit us. Whereas if you set up too many double teams, I feel like that's very unfair. At least it's like a 50-50 chance from there. Anyway, we take down the Gyarados, bring this into the Executor, we attract it. Yes, this little puffball has attracted a tree with 3 heads. Gotta love Pokemon World, don't you? Once we've attracted it, we can use Return and deal about big damage. It's going to do our half damage with Return because our Friendship is maxed. And that brings us into the Arcanine from last time. We're going to go for Attract. Flamethrower will do about 50 damage on us. And from here, we'll rest back up. If Attract works in our favour, he will never attack us as well. Because of the Infatuation. We managed to wake all the way back up just after Flamethrower and start using Return. It's going to take 2 returns to take him down. And from here at level 93 we beat the former champion Blue. But I know what you're thinking, how are we going to do against Red? Can this moveset beat Red before level 100? Red of course starts out with his Pikachu and we really need to outspeed this. He goes for Charm, which is not a good thing, but thankfully it doesn't hit. Thunder does pretty good damage on us, but we can one-shot with Return. Level 95 here. The next Pokemon out, Espeon, is going to do decent damage with Psychic, so we need to get Rest up. From there, hopefully Attract will work in our favour, and we can use Return to deal out bigger damage. Once we wake up though, wow, it's about 100 damages doing on us every single time. Return with Reflect Up is doing about 1/3 damage, but wow, we get taken out by a Psychic. Out of all the Pokemon in his team, that Espeon became the big blocker, and it was only his second Pokemon in. So we had to go up to level 100, and from here, even though we're not outspeeding everything, we're still dealing a lot better damage and tanking a lot better damage. Once we've rested back up, we will go straight in for the returns. Psychic is still doing about 100 damage on us though, which is not good. But Attract comes through, we managed to use Return and deal out half damage on the Espeon. That brings us into Snorlax, and you might be wondering here, this Pokemon is incredibly tanky, what can we do? Well, thankfully Psychic does have another effect to it. It can reduce special defense. Now, all we want to do is make sure that he does not use Amnesia, and if we can get him to sleep and use Rest, that would be perfect as well, because Snore does less damage. But we can heal back up with Rest. He stops hitting because of Infatuation, and we managed to get all the way through our Rest without taking any damage. That's 4 Infatuations in a row, and we take out the Snorlax, bringing us into Venusaur. With the Attract set up, we can get around the Solar Beam and use Psychic for big 2-shot damage. He sets up Sunny Day before he falls though, which means he's going to bring in Charizard next, and from here, we need to make sure Attract hits. We then get Burn of all things, and it's all down to whether Infatuation helps there. We rest back up, get rid of the Burn, and hopefully we can wake up before he decides that he's going to hit us again. We wake up, use Return, and it's going to take 2 returns to take it down, bringing us into the final Pokemon, which is Blastoise, and we need to get around the Rain Dance boosted Surfs, because they're going to deal nearly half our HP out. That is not good whatsoever, and he's doing that every single turn. We manage to use Psychic, and we get a critical hit, getting us the win at level 100. That's 2 Pokemon in a row we've had to be level 100 to beat the game with, beat Red with. I'm not happy by it, but they are bad Pokemon, both Hoppip and Cleffa. So this is the move set we actually managed to do it with, and we did it without Double Team, which I'm happy about. But what time did we finish on? We finished on 9 hours 51 minutes. I'm glad that we managed to do this under 10 hours, but my god, this is just not fun. Let's see what we get next time. Am I going to be kind to myself depending on the choices? Well, first up is going to be, oh my god, Shuckle. Love the Dockley channel for that, but my god, that'll be a hard run. Next up is Kingdra. That would be really good, but considering I've started to gain a bit more respect for the horsey line. Last up is Ho-Oh. Oh my god. Hardest Pokemon's going to be Shuckle, so you know what? We'll go with Shuckle. Let's put myself through a bit more pain for this. If you got to this point in the video, guys, please smash that like and subscribe, you legends. And I will see you next week for the Shuckle only video. Take care.